Well, hello internet. Here we are with a little bit of a fix-it video. Well, of course, here we are in our wonderful bathroom, hovering over top of the toilet. The toilet is one of those things we take for granted, kind of that it's going to work every day and be there every day. Kind of one of those tools that we take for granted that it's always going to work, and when it doesn't, it's a big problem. Well, what am I talking about? Well, let's give her a flush and I will show you. So, of course, push down on the lever. And it flushes sort of what it normally always did sound like. However, as it fills up, you notice there's a bit of a different sound, kind of like a hissing sound. Well, let's pop the top off the tank here and see what we come up with. Tank here. Now, of course, as you see, most tanks would have been full by now if it was getting adequate water flow. So you start checking the valve that leads between the tank and the floor. Start checking the supply line, start checking the float, thinking that there is, an issue here. Pull the little flapper, letting more water out of the tank, thinking that maybe there's something there. And everything that you try in obvious fix comes up empty. So you go turn to online and do a little bit of digging. You come across, the Fluidmaster 400 series fill valves for the tank here. And one of the most common things is a little rubber washer. They call it a fill valve seal, and this is what the package looks like. However, of course, it might look a little different from where you're from. However, this is what it looks like in my retail location. So to change this here seal, first thing you're going to want to do is shut the water off. So if you got a valve up here in the bathroom, just shut it off at the floor, the water goes away. If not, then you'll have to shut off your main, whether it's in your basement, or if you don't have a shut off, then you might have to get a plumber involved and all that good stuff. So now that my water is shut off, start by popping off this black plastic cap. Now, of course, this has been in the water or around humidity and water for like 10 years. It could be brittle, so be careful. I'm not sure if you guys have minerals like iron or calcium or other minerals in your water, so there could be issues with brittle plastic or so be careful at this step. Kind of just gently work it off. It pops off, set her aside, and you're good to go. The next step is removing this white plastic piece here. Now, I've seen some people just grab, twist, and turn. However, I want to remove the screw here out of the black plastic piece. I know the overhead camera shot is nice, but it's not quite the most perfect view, but excuse the hands. We'll try to get an idea what's going on. Kind of pop out this little screw out of the little forked area here. Kind of like that, and it's good to go. So taking the shaft of the valve in one hand and the white plastic piece in another, kind of give her a little bit of a twist, and there you go. You heard the air go back into the system. That means you broke the seal, as in, it's no longer got water in it. Lift, and it comes out. So the seal we're wanting to change today is the one on the bottom of, the white plastic piece here. So taking your nail, flat screwdriver, whatever, if you need be a tool, getting in there and prying away the little rubber seal. So most of the time that black little nipple piece will have broke off from the main part of the seal. So get in there and work it off, kind of like that. So this is where you get to tear into a brand new package here. So now that we have it apart, you don't have to do this here step, but I would recommend it, because once again there could be mineral buildup in the valve body itself of the toilet here, or you know, like lime, calcium, whatever else could be in there. If you've done plumbing work, there could be dirt and stuff trapped in there. So what we're going to do is flush it out. So what I would recommend doing is taking a cup, putting over top of the valve and holding on to it, and then turning the water back on, and while one hand's on the cup, the other hand's on the valve, turning the water back on, holding the cup down and flushing the system out. I'll try to get a bit of a shot for you guys, but it may not work out the way I want it to. So holding the cup over the valve, turning the water back on, just for a few seconds like that, and any debris that was in there will be flushed out, and now good to go. So this was our problem here. We have our, well, seal here, and then the little nipple that went into the white part of the valve. And as you see, the replacement seal, the nipple, is actually supposed to be part of it. And when it cracks and breaks away, it no longer seals, and then that's when you end up with the issues that we did. So taking the white piece once again, being mindful of that little metal shaft, I would imagine if that stainless steel shaft was broke, rusted away, or not there, you'd have to be buying more parts, because I think you very well need this here shaft to make everything work. Installing the little rubber seal back over top and squeezing it on in, and she's good to go. Now if this camera will see it there, you see that little silver stainless steel shaft go in and out when I wiggle the black lever. Well, that's kind of what makes everything work. So now you install that little white cover and the black lever back in. Just set her in place, give her a twist. You feel it snap down and it's good to go. Snap the little black threaded area in, back into the forked area, and then she's good to go there. So at this time, you should have everything good to go. Turn the water back on and see what happens. So if you see there, she filled right up, she tripped the float, and that shut off the flow of water just shortly before the overflow valve got activated. Now some of these have a tube that goes from the valve here into the overflow that pretty much just dumps right into the toilet itself. Kind of like a fail-safe, so if this did stick and didn't want to shut off, then it wouldn't or shouldn't flood, you know, all over the floor. Pretty much like that. You see how it's draining down that tube now? So let's give her a flush and we'll see what happens. That flush sounded a lot better. It is filling up way quicker. It used to take about 15 minutes to fill up with the seal broke like that. And when it did flush, it had no pressure behind it because I believe as well it wasn't getting sufficient enough water in the tank before it shut off too. So we'll do it once more just to make sure. Now, of course, in my case, you've seen the chain get stuck under the flapper. Effectively, what that does is leaves the door open, the flapper open, and the water just runs out. Now, in my case, the little ring that holds the flapper chain to the metal lever has rusted away, and I've just used a twist tie for the time being. But when I fixed that a while ago, I've had the chain maybe an inch or so too long, and it does work, but sometimes it's problematic. So let's put the black cap on her, and it's looking like she's good to go. Lining the little nubs up with the holes in the plastic cap, put her down, give her one more flush to make sure. And there she is. But pretty much, guys, this has been a change out of the toilet fill valve seal on a Fluidmaster, well, fill valve, model 400. It fits with various models of the Fluidmaster series. Works with all water pressure. Put the tank cover back on, and she's good to roll. And as always, thanks for watching. Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.